No,
Yeah.
I 100% agree there. Like it's interesting because we've kind of had that same journey, but I broke away from
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
side where I'm actually in like a fairly decent sized Discord with a lot of big food
Mm,
creators, and a lot of them are experiencing kind of that
mm,
thing where they're just like the next recipe, the next recipe, the next
yeah.
recipe. And I kind of have a very different outlook on it now with content creation, and it's led me to being, more
Mm,
busy, a little more tired, but I'm more
yeah.
excited. And that was really just like finding out what my why
Yeah.
was. And my why leads me to like have a
Mm,
mission basically versus saying, okay, I just need the next video. It's like, no, what is the next video going to
yeah.
do? Right? Like for the person
Mm,
watching it. So is it going to entertain them? Is it going to educate them? Like I'm big on
mm,
edutainment. Like Mark Roberg to me is the best YouTuber on the
yeah.
planet, like flat out. He uses science to be entertaining, but also teaches
Yeah.
people a
Yeah.
little bit about science. Like I love it, right? It's literally the best. And that kind of led me to saying, okay, what do I want to do with my life? And I want to have people explore
Mm,
food,
mm,
right? And as foodies, we know that that's important. Going out, trying new things, eating new, things, going to different restaurants, even if it's just like, hey, I'm going to try, a slightly different variation of my day-to-day food
yeah.
intake, diet, whatever it is, just something different, right? To keep the ball rolling. But when I started doing that and thinking about that, I'm like, it really led me to think about the instead of just making recipes, make them fun enough, make videos that are fun enough for people to be excited to try it
Yeah. Yeah.
themselves versus just very
Mm,
informational. It's like, no, there's a reason that I'm making a bento and then stuffing it and then wrapping it in
yeah.
tape because I don't know where the damn like rope
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
for it, driving 2 hours to the beach and then training like
Mm-hmm.
Deku, like absolutely obliterating my body so I can enjoy this bento on the
Yeah.
sand. Like he just
Yeah.
finished training. That adds just a little bit to it. It makes it more exciting
Yeah.
for me, right? I get to try all these new things, but hopefully it makes it like more of an
Exciting for the.
attachment to the
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
watching. And a lot of people on YouTube don't talk about, I think, the troubles of making
Mm,
content. And I've hit a point to where I feel comfortable if like, hey, you know what? The video's not ready. I don't have to post this week. Let me give it another week. Let me let it brew. Let me go over the edits
yeah.
again. I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I'm okay doing that from time
Mm-hmm.
to time. I want to still do like a video a week, right? Like I'm working 60 hours a week. I should be able to put out a
Right. Right.
video. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Like I go to an event or something. Um, but there are times when like channels that are starting to take off, you have to do the grind
Yeah.
and you just kind of lose yourself in it. And then all of a sudden, like you're like, I
Yeah.
hate this, right? You're like, how do you kind of dug yourself out and found a new way to do
Yeah.
content? But a lot of channels are like that. They just
Yeah.
burn out and they're like, I'm done
And
making
that's the thing,
content.
you need the right people around you to help like pull you out of that and to help motivate you and keep you moving forward. And it's
Hmm.
really hard. And like you're in these groups with people, you have like these mentors that you talk to and like different ways to stay motivated and excited where it's not just
Hmm.
you, it is you on your own, but you have people you can ask for help and advice and
There is
like a
support.
community, right? And I
Hmm.
feel yeah, I feel like that's the only thing that like really pulled me back and helped me recenter myself because like, at the end of the day I do really like making content. I really enjoy it. And it's just, as you said, a matter of like finding what will inspire you. And for me, it is these video essays that I've been working really hard on. I love like exploring an idea. I love researching it. I love finding more out about it. And I actually really love editing and I really like doing stupid
Hmm.
stuff, like stuff that just makes me laugh. And I think the thing that got me there was just to stop caring what other people thought and just start doing stuff that I
Yeah.
really enjoyed, which is so funny because I've heard that since the dawn of time on YouTube, so, like Jenna
Right.
Marbles
Be yourself.
2014, like
Yeah.
just make content that makes you laugh because if you can't laugh at
Yep.
it, then
Because there's going to be somebody else who wants to laugh
yeah,
too.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
there's what 7 billion
Yeah.
people or 8 billion
There's gotta
people
be
on the
someone who
planet.
would like it,
Like
yeah.
what 40%, 30% of them have
Yeah.
internet. 40%, whatever, 2 or 3 billion have internet. And the way I see it is like that's kind of what led me to when you watch my
Mm.
earlier videos. I was still trying to be like the chef,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'd have my chef coat on, I'd be wearing an apron, I'd be making like anime food. And as I progressed, I'm like, no one at home is wearing a chef coat and an
Mm.
apron. Like I off camera, this is what I wear when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
cook, right? Except I don't wear a beanie. It's too hot. I wear a
Yeah.
hat, right? I don't wear an apron
Mm.
when I cook. Like how many people do? Unless maybe you're making a big Thanksgiving
Yeah.
dinner or you're trying to go all in. I get that. It's to me it was like being more
Yeah.
myself the
Yeah.
entire time. And now I've gotten to a point where I'm like, no, I wear like an anime shirt and I'm literally wearing like Deku pants. Like these are Deku pants,
Nice.
right? And that to me, I'm like, that's just what I wear at the house when I'm
Yeah.
cooking. But as sometimes people will be like, oh dude, where'd you get those pants
Yeah.
from? I'm like, oh my God, let me tell you about this
Yeah,
company.
yeah.
Like, right? Like you start gushing about that. And I think it stemmed a lot from when I was in the culinary field. If you were into nerd stuff, you were an outcast, just like how it was in high school,
Really?
right? Because this is 2007. So I started culinary school in
Yeah.
2005. This was before like MCU and people were kind of into Marvel,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
right? If you like that stuff, you were a
Yeah.
nerd. So you tried to find like other nerd people, but in culinary school, how many of those people
Right.
exist? It wasn't very many, and then you finish that and then you go into a field dominated by people who were older than you, so they weren't into anime or
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
like that. So you try to like, oh yeah, I'm one of the guys or whatever. Like you're on a hotline, you don't talk about
Yeah.
anime. You just kind of move on, and it became this like almost like parallel
Mm.
lives of like Chef Paul and then Paul who goes home and binges all the stuff on
Yeah.
Crunchyroll. It was literally
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
right? I would go
Dude,
to
me
like
in high school,
it was
though.
a weird time in my
Yeah.
life. Yeah, exactly. Like for me, it was like a weird time where I didn't want people to know that I enjoyed watching
Yeah.
anime because it was seen as the uncool
Yeah.
thing. And now I'm like, this is literally 10 years later. Now that I'm 35, I'm like, I do not care.
Wait,
I go to the
sorry, you're
what?
35?
Yeah, I'm old as
I
hell.
I had no
God,
idea. I thought you were like
I am
30. I thought you
old.
were like my age, like 20,
I'll take
28.
it. I'll take it. That's what the
What?
protein shake is for.
Really? Oh
Hmm.
man. Dude.
Yeah, I'll take it. It's the beard.
Yeah, maybe. I guess.
It's the beard and 4 workouts
I
a
don't
day
know. I
apparently.
never like consciously was like, "Oh, I know how old Paul is," but like you just struck me as a younger person.
I don't know if it's because of how I carry, because like I like to have fun. I am somewhat juvenile
Oh, no, I know what
sometimes,
it is.
but
It's
like
your like unrelenting optimism and energy. You don't
I
act
think
like
that's
you're old
why
and grizzled.
I'm very bad at being like I am too optimistic
It's a good
about
thing.
things. I think it's because right, and it's because I've gone through so much
Yeah.
crap in my
Yeah.
life, like family members passing
Oh,
away and
yeah.
all this other stuff, like really bad stuff, to where I'm like, you know what? No, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
enjoy it, and that's what
That's what life is
has
about.
led me to the content
Okay.
side. Yeah, and it's like
That's
I enjoy
yeah.
the content I make
Yeah.
now because I can be more
There's a sense
myself.
of freedom.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no, there is, and I think now is a very different time. Like this was so cool, right? The one video I did a couple weeks ago is when I did the Deku
Yeah.
diet. I went to the beach. I had like the Deku tank top, the shorts. Like I have like my Pokemon tattoos, and I'm running
Yeah.
at the beach and like doing my thing. And I just don't care. I have the camera there. I just don't. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
care, right? But then I went to the park to make smash burgers because I was cooking all day. And this one guy came up to me. We were talking about smash burgers, whatever it was. And he pointed to my outfit. He's like, I understand the outfit now, because he pointed to my
Yeah.
Deku outfit. He's like, that's
Yeah.
really cool. And it wasn't this like demeaning thing. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I get
Yeah.
it. That's great. It's a very different time
Mm.
now. But I think literally 2 years ago, it wasn't like that for
No.
me. Not even maybe even a
Yeah.
year ago. Like you couldn't really, you're like, oh, you like this? Like you're kind of a weirdo. That's why I enjoyed Japan so much, because you saw
Yeah.
so much of
Yeah.
it. But now it's
Yeah.
normal.
I totally get that.
I brought
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
I brought this up in my audience discussion at Vid Summit when I did the panel there, and I'm like, anime made more money than Hollywood in
Hell
2021.
yeah, dude.
So like, who's the nerd now, right? Like that's how I see it.